All right, so I'm recording. So Eric and Jack and Timmy, really the whole reason we're here is to sort of just chat a little bit about why we're doing the marathon. And and I don't know if one wants to go first or I can go first, but it doesn't matter. Maybe Eric, we probably save you for last because you're like the leader of the pack. So Tim or Jack, do you want to go first or want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start, and then we'll hand off at the appropriate time. So, uh, first off, I would not be running a marathon at this point in my life if it weren't for Eric creating an opportunity that was worthwhile and motivational for me to put my 60-year-old body through the pain of getting ready for a marathon and then actually completing it. Uh, the work that you've done with Cross World Africa and supporting the needy folks over there in Kenya and that portion of Africa is just so much needed and under served in the U.S. Charity market, if you will. And your ability to raise awareness and cause people to open their hearts and say, oh, hey, I can help with that. A little bit of my dollars goes an awful long way in Africa. And yeah, let's go out there and do that. So combining a challenge of get your 60-year-old body out there and do something that you've never done, to quote to you, Darren, this century, was awesome. So for me, it became very easy to think about those kinds of things as I was putting the miles in, working my way up to our point for the race on Sunday. So with that, I'll jump back in after I give somebody else a chance.
Well, I got in it because my friend and classmate, Darren, called me about 2 years ago, I think it was November, and said, hey, you want to run Marine Corps Marathon for Cross World Africa? And I said, heck yeah. That's what you do when your Air Force Academy friend and fellow runner asks you. So initially, that was the only reason, really. I just wanted to run with Darren, and I thought, yeah, help a charity, that's good. But once I got into it, I realized it was truly a life-changing experience. Helping people who need help, fantastic. And in this time, I know we all have our political views, but in this time, I think it's especially important that we show the world that Americans are generous people, are helpful,
Yes.
are charitable. So I think it's very important.
Amen.
Uh,
So so Eric, the reason why I'm running the marathon is because I believe that it's really important for all of us to always think about something bigger than ourselves. We've talked about this before, and it's easy to be selfish. And I think that really we started thinking about something bigger than ourselves back in about 1977, right? I mean, all four of us entered the Air Force Academy, and we realized that all of us hot shot number one in our classes, all of a sudden we're down here, right? And I think that we learned a lot at the academy, and for us specifically, Eric and Tim, because poor Jack couldn't be in fourth squadron. No, he's an honorary member now, fourth squadron. But I think that what I learned from those last 3 years as upperclassmen is how we had 100 men and women kind of put themselves second in the squadron first, right? So what was bigger than ourselves at the time was just fourth squadron, right? And that seemed like not that much, but I think what we learned was what kind of difference we could make when you sort of put something bigger than yourself ahead of yourself. And I know that each of us during the course of our Air Force careers and our industry careers in the 40 years hence have all done that. We've all sort of taken our turns at who was helping the other person out and who had some good ideas about what to do next. But really, Eric, I think to resonate with Jack and Tim, you've given us this current opportunity to think of something bigger than ourselves, right? And looking at Cross World Africa and saying, I'm going to get my 61-year-old body, Tim. My body's 1 year older than your body. My 61-year-old body out there again is only because something bigger than ourselves is helping the citizens of Kenya and Tanzania. But really what it does is Eric Garvin, one of our 81 brothers, says, hey, I need your help. He didn't know he needed help last year when I volunteered to do this, but he, in essence, was humble enough to go, I need your help. And when a brother says, I need your help, you'll go help him. And so I think that really helping Eric and helping the folks in Kenya and Tanzania who can't help themselves, especially like Jack said, especially in this time where America sometimes, when you look at being a little brutish, and that during a pandemic we're focused trying to protect ourselves, that despite that, we're still trying our best to do something that's bigger than ourselves. And I tell you, it sure made me feel less claustrophobic getting out there and running and thinking about how, hey, somebody else just gave another $500. That's another cow for some folks over in Kenya. It sure makes me feel connected when I can't be connected. So, Eric, thank you for the opportunity to let us continue to think about things bigger than ourselves. That's why I'm
Hey,
doing
Darren,
this. Sure.
before you jump in, I got to say that the work that the Crossroad Africa does, it's just unbelievable. The bang for the buck, I guess would be the term now, is amazing. On way heads and tails above any, or heads and shoulders above any charity I've ever heard of. So.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why it makes it easy. So one is Eric Garvin, and two is Crossroad Africa. I mean, you say no to those two things.
So hey, wait, don't let Eric go yet. We're still passing the baton around you. So Eric, I've never had a chance to tell you this, but we have a family friend in California who had been helping care for Kathy's parents as they were aging, and it turns out that she was from Kenya. And when she heard last year what we were doing, she was so thankful. And I never had a chance to pass on to you the heartfelt warmth and just general, I'll say, love for the American way that we can figure out how to give back to other parts of the world. So since I forgot until now, please accept that on behalf of those folks who have felt the benefit for their countrymen.
Well, first, brothers from Air Force Academy class of 1981, our motto is second to none. And it's really an honor just to have all of you pour your heart and your soul into Crossroad. That when I saw all three of you nearing the finish line there, it was just really inspiring to me. And then Jack followed up with a quote from President Theodore Roosevelt about the man in the arena. And I thought, okay, I'm not a runner, but I need to get into the arena. So I got out on the road and I started training with a lot of coaching from you guys. And God willing, I'll be able to complete this journey because of you. Now, Darren touched on something that's really near and dear to me, and that is believing in something bigger than yourself. I have a few rules that I live my life on, being kind to others, and believing in something bigger than yourself is really one of my core values. And why do I believe that? I believe that because when I was at the Air Force Academy, I was a kid who grew up on welfare, some really, really harsh backgrounds. And because the Academy gave me an opportunity and surrounded me with brothers like yourself, I was able to graduate from the Air Force Academy. And that transformed my life. Right? So I look at opportunity as being really the key thing in terms of overcoming inequality. And Kenya has lots of that inequality. And what we're doing with Crossroad Africa, all of you said, bang for the buck. You get a lot for your money, boy. But what we're doing is we're giving people an opportunity to break the cycle of poverty. And I've seen for myself what an opportunity can do and how it can transform your life. And I'm seeing it with these Kenyans as well. Whether we give them cows or goats, or whether we provide them with scholarships to high school, or whether we train them on a skill like becoming a seamstress or a barber. All of those things translate into them standing on their own 2 feet and being able to do something for their family. So without you guys, none of this stuff is possible. And I'm happy to report this year we raised over $54,000. And as a direct result, all three of you guys, and I mean all three of you guys, of that $54,000, 90% of it is associated with the donations that each of us have done. So the Air Force Academy is clearly leading the pack, and I could have never done this. And Darren was a real inspiration behind it because he found out about my charity, and what he said was, he said, "Eric, I want to figure out a way on how to help you." And his vehicle for doing that was the Marine Corps Marathon. So Darren, thank you for being a visionary, right? The guy who comes up with the idea to do this and pulling this all together.
So why do I have to run it? If I came up with the idea, shoot, I should have just left it alone.
Hey, it's like the old adage, Eric.
Yeah.
They say, you give somebody a fish and you feed them for a day, but you teach them to fish, and they're good for a lifetime. That's what Crossworld Africa does.
That's precisely it. Yeah. You want to teach them how to be fishermen and not send them a fish. So you're absolutely right. Without you guys, stuff. So again, much love to all you guys, and I'm eternally grateful for what you're doing to help me in this journey with Crossroads. God bless everyone.